I'm sure you've entered a Minecraft cave at some point and found this block that seems to have a life of its own. Today we'll discuss the Skulk sensor's advantages and, more importantly, why it's rarely used. When it was released, many called it a revolutionary block. Did it let you make Wi-Fi in Minecraft? YouTube was filled with videos explaining how it was going to change Redstone forever, but now, years later, almost no one uses it in their worlds. What happened to the hype? Why is this block nearly forgotten? First, let's define the Skulk sensor. This block detects vibrations, sounds, or movements within 8 blocks. When activated, it emits a redstone signal. You can find it deep underground in the deep dark biome. It's also found in ancient cities, where its presence is not only curious, but dangerous. And if you activate one of the sensors near a Skulk streaker, you'll start a countdown you don't want to finish. Because after 4 activations, the dreaded warden appears. These sensors both listen and transmit. Breaking them only drops experience, but using Silk Touch lets you take them home. There's also the calibrated Skulk sensor crafted like this, with twice the range at 16 blocks. But the most interesting thing is that it lets you filter vibrations based on the redstone signal strength it receives. That means you can fine-tune it much more. What sound do you want it to detect? It has many uses, but hasn't really caught on in the community. Why is that? Initially, people called it a revolutionary mixed invention. Every player skilled with Redstone dreamed of making mechanisms remotely, and this block was perfect for it. Many YouTubers, such as Mambo Yambo, made content on the Skulk sensor, creating automatic doors that open only when detecting the player, or a new way to make witches fall in the witch farm. I recently made a video building a witch farm in my survival. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And then I'd also like to mention the inventions of Peter Yang, who is a redstoner from Taiwan and has a really cool channel. Very technical, but he takes on really wild challenges. He's one of the world's top redstone experts. Why deny it? And he spent almost a year experimenting with the Skulk just to test new mechanics. What could you do? What couldn't you do with them? And he has a series of videos, a bunch of videos of creations he's made. The wildest might be the 5x5 door using Skulks. It's very clever, but extremely slow. It's impressive he did it, but it's pointless. No one will use this over a normal door. By the way, this whole redstone area is called Soundstone because it works with sound. In short, Soundstone hasn't really achieved much. But basically, they're sound sensors. They were very clever for certain things, but they only added new ways to solve problems that were already solved. This is key. 8 blocks is a very short detection distance. If the radius increased in the Sunshine Cities, you'd have to stay completely silent to avoid activating them. And what if you opened a chest? Citywide sensors would trigger in sequence, causing many wardens to spawn, which wouldn't be pleasant for anyone. That's why the calibrated sensor was made. It was released in some versions after the regular sensor and would allow us double the detection range, but with a catch. This is because it could detect only one sound at a time, based on the redstone signal strength, as mentioned earlier. It's more useful because it lets you be specific and stops the Skulk from being triggered by a zombie sneaking into your house. But 16 blocks is still not enough and doesn't really change the game much. Another reason why these sensors aren't used is because they don't add anything that couldn't have been done before. In a simpler way, the observer with string activates when something crosses the string, sending a signal to turn on. So players have decided to keep using this method, since it's cheaper and more compact. But this example isn't the only one. This Mambo Jambo video is linked in the description if you want to watch it. He talks about several mechanisms that use Skulk sensors, but in most cases, they don't offer anything different. He made this video when the Skulk sensor came out, and he was testing things that came to his mind at the moment. For example, this redstone door opens whenever it detects the player's sound, even when you walk by without intending to go through the door, which makes it annoying. And it can be fixed in such a simple way as putting 2 pressure plates, which ensures that if you step on them, the door opens. That's their only function. It looks really cool to set it up with Skulk, and I get wanting to try it, but the reality is that nobody actually wants to open doors like that. He also mentions traps triggered by opening a chest in the video. The Skulk detects the sound, sends a signal, 2 stalactites fall, and you die. And actually, it's not a bad trap, but it doesn't revolutionize the world of traps either. After all, you can also open a chest that activates some pistons and makes you fall into a pool of lava, or the classic trick of adding a comparator behind it. If you take anything from the chest, it triggers another trap or stalactites, kills you, and that's it. Chest traps have always existed. He also explains you can make wireless posts that transmit signals globally without redstone cables. But this wireless network has a delay, a lag. And even though it looks really nice visually, in practice you want a faster and more functional way. A cable is always faster, regardless of the number of repeaters. You have to wait for each Skulk to receive signals one after another. Similarly, in real life, you simply lay a cable underground, so it's hidden. Why add anything else? Even so, I've managed to find a mechanism that I can't see any way to make with any block other than the Skulk sensor, or at least it's not that easy. Let me introduce you to the Claymore, a machine designed by Cubic Meter, which, when it detects a player, activates a mechanism that shoots some arrows, fueled by numerous trinitrotoluene explosions nearby. It's wide enough so you can't escape from it, which causes instant death no matter where you are. This mechanism works as follows. A waterlogged calibrated sensor silently detects the player's footsteps and signals a Skulk shrieker, also waterlogged, which only detects the player. Whether it's walking, eating, or placing blocks, this prevents the machine from activating when a pig passes by, or any other event that isn't performed by the player. Well, the player detection will activate a mechanism that will have below the shrieker to be able to turn on the machine, which will be a few chunks away, so that the player doesn't find out why they died. The arrows will then be moved to the place they need to be aimed at and when they explode. The trinitrotoluene will launch within range at such high speed that the player won't realize how they were killed. And this case is a perfect example of how to use the proximity detector. If you search proximity detector on YouTube, you'll find a 12-year-old video by Seth Blink, and many videos as a result that use the movement of animals to do it and so on. Anyway, I think the Skulk is the best option here. There's another way to do it without the Skulk, but it's much harder and worse. Here, Skulk is definitely the best choice. It does work, and it's well placed, even though there's an alternative. By the way, as mentioned before, arrows will kill you even with armor because they retain momentum. What does that mean? That the faster the arrows go, the more damage they'll do? In version 1.12, speedrunners use this trick to defeat the Ender Dragon in such a way that when the Ender Dragon hit you, it gave you so much momentum that if you shot the arrow at just the right moment, you would instantly kill the dragon. A highly visual method to defeat the Ender Dragon was shown on Tor Portis, China's largest technical Minecraft server. They have a machine that fires an arrow with a lot of trinitrotoluene, instantly killing the dragon as soon as it spawns. Now back to the Skulk. Another example is the gold farm from episode 12 of Survival. In the Rubik style, the farm's design was so tailored to its needs that changing it wasn't worthwhile. The Skulk sensor's function was to detect when a zombified piglin died, so a sticky piston with a slime block could push the dropped items. As I said before, the change just requires an observer and a string, so when the item passes, it signals the observer to activate the piston. The farm creator used sensors because they're cool, but they're unnecessary. A string and an observer are actually cheaper. These are all detection sensors, and they've been in the game for years. One way to detect the player's presence in the past was using the pufferfish. This mob has a mechanic where if you get close to it, it puffs up, which increases its hitbox. It's collision box. Technical players use this so that when the pufferfish puffed up, its collision box would make contact with a tripwire that would activate an observer that triggers any mechanism you choose. You could also use a rabbit and a carrot. When the rabbit sees you holding the carrot and jumps, it triggers a tripwire with an observer like the pufferfish setup. In short, the Skulk sensor, no matter how modern or innovative it is a system that has become practically outdated and isn't really worth using. On farms or machines where cheaper, more common items like observers can replace it, Anyway, I've always said that Minecraft is a video game that rewards creativity and innovation. So it's not an item that shouldn't be used. Instead, the community should further research cases where sensors are truly needed. Like Cubic, Meter developed the Claymore. Actually, Casers helps me understand Redstone since he's very knowledgeable. He sent me a video of how a Reddit user named National Aeronautics and Space Administration GL had built a system that detected when a chicken died to create a grave for it. I mean, it's useless, but it's simply wonderful. I also want to give some credit to Mojang. And the thing is, the basic functionality of the Skulk is for the Warden City, and there it does its job perfectly. But once they try to fit it into Redstone, that's when its functionality isn't so essential. And this is what sums up Minecraft a bit. When Mojang tries to make something work for Redstone and innovation, it fails, but when they don't intend it, it works out that way. This video I uploaded is the best example. Watch it, as it truly revolutionizes Redstone further. It allows you to teleport to any place or dimension you've previously visited. By the way, have you guys ever experimented with this block? Comment below, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you Sunday for a Rubik-style survival episode. Goodbye.